What is up, everybody? And you are very, very welcome along to tonight's show. And let me start off by wishing both the gentlemen here with me and you guys all watching at home a happy 2022. I hope it's got to be better than 2021 for all of us. It has to be, because let's be honest, it was a bit of a shit show. Mr. Murphy, first show with you of the year. Chris, you got to see Drunken Me last night. We'll get on to that in a moment. But Paddy, how was your Christmas, mate? I hope it was chill. I hope it was good, and I hope the family are all well.
Yeah, very good. Had a nice little time with family, nice and chilled. No trouble, thankfully. So yeah, first show of many for the year, please God. So let's get into the news.
And Mr. Downey Jr., how are you?
Oh, mate, that's my favourite comparison so far, I think. Big up to Lucas. But yeah, no, I'm excellent, mate. I'm excellent. Even better. Hopefully better than your head is or head was this morning.
Mate, I'm shaking. Let's put it that way. I'm not in a good place. But thankfully, today isn't the day I need to do any manscaping. So I don't need to worry about, them shakes get me in a particular place. But with the new year, maybe it's a new you. Maybe you've made New Year's resolutions. And that resolution has to be to get over to manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping with our discount code WFM20. Paddy and Kyle, both big fans of the new fragrance. I see Kyle got the bottle as well, Paddy. I haven't had one yet.
Yeah, I tell you, it's really nice stuff, a really lovely smell, and Manscaped, as per usual, they put it out of the park every time. So listen, if you want to avail of some goodness, WFM20 for 20% off, you're welcome.
There you go. And as Lucas says, your balls will thank you, because he has that down, to a T. He was saying it up at his grandparents the other day, and they were looking at him very strangely because they didn't really understand what was going on. But yeah, it is what it is. Do you know what though? Highlight of my Christmas, gents, sincerely. So you get the links. You get the Links Africa sets. That's a given when you're a man. But I didn't realise that you can get a set that has socks in them, Paddy. So I've got Links Africa socks now. I'm very happy about that.
Thing?
Unbelievable. I haven't been so lucky to get that gift, but I'm praying next year it comes.
No ads, by the way.
My mother-in-law, Chris, she knows me too well, so she got me, and I'm not lying, a bucket of chocolate, the tickets to Garth Brooks, and then she got me the link sets, and one of them had socks in it, and it was a pleasant surprise.
Oh, happy days. Links Africa socks. That's revolutionary.
Yeah, it is. There you go. See, my daughter still wears a little Christmas jumper that she bought last year. She's very proud.
Yeah, that was a big thing, wasn't it? Jumper. That was a really big thing last year.
Yeah, little socks and everything. But look, gents, loads to get through. And I suppose the big news really is the gaffer isn't going to be on the sidelines tomorrow ahead of the game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And we've got 3 players, it looks like, that could potentially be out with COVID. If rumours are to be believed, and I've seen the LFC transfer room tweet about this, it could be Alisson, Keita, Firmino. Chris, would that be fair?
Yeah, I mean, Alisson and Firmino weren't spotted in training the day prior to the COVID rumours coming out. So it's pretty obvious that it is them. The other is Naby, because Jurgen said in his press conference about the Naby situation and how Curtis can help with that. Now, we don't know whether that's to do with AFCON or whether that's to do with having COVID, but there is a space left of that COVID trio, and it's pretty likely to be Naby. So they're all going to be really big misses, unfortunately, coming up against Chelsea.
One of the things I wanted to have a chat about, gents, was Thiago. So I seem to have a new player every week I want to bring up, but this is a period, Paddy, in the season where we could have really done with a fit Thiago.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can always do with a fit Thiago, but he's very unlucky. But I do feel like his fitness since he came has been kind of blown out of proportion a little bit. You feel like he had a serious injury, and he had illness. So I feel like he hasn't always been injured. I just think he's been very unlucky with his timing. But he's so good, and if you look at our win rates with him and without him, it's pretty evident what he brings to the table and how much better we are with him in the team, because he's a world-class footballer. But yeah, it would have been really nice to have him available for this period. But, I don't know how long it's going to be, but yeah, we're not lucky enough.
I just kept thinking back about that Leicester game, Paddy, and it was made for Thiago, wasn't it? That would have been ideal for him.
Yeah, it's those games where you just can't get a goal, things are looking down. Like a midfielder like him in the middle, it's just the perfect man to unlock something or that little sprinkle of magic. But again, you just can't stay around. Like Fabinho, we can't seem to have all our best midfielders together at once. It seems to be you can have 2 maybe, but not all 3. And then
look at him. He's sitting on there as smug as fuck, Paddy, because he knows where this conversation's going now in a second. He knows we're getting on to Chamberlain. Look at him. He's just sitting there happy as a pig in poo.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Do we think we're going to see that midfield again tomorrow? The Fabinho, Henderson, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain?
Maybe. I'd assume so. It would be silly not to have your probably three most senior midfielders who are more likely to play. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he threw Milner in there as well.
People that are saying the table is wrong, by the way. Yeah, this is an old one that Connor had, and I'm too hungover to be arsed to try and find the correct one. So yeah, it's fine. It's not been updated from earlier on. I mean, chill, relax. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. Sorry, that's all right, mate. It's all right. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw James Milner in, just for a bit of experience. I mean, we won't have our most experienced goalkeeper, of course, Alisson, another experienced forward in Bobby. So I wouldn't be surprised if he put a 36-year-old who is getting a lot of disrespect for that substitution. It's not his fault that he got brought on. He's still a very reliable performer, and I wouldn't be surprised if he played. But I love an Ox. I'd stick Ox in.
I think we're going to see that same trio again, to be honest with you. I mean, any changes there for you, Paddy? Would you rather see Milner or... I don't think Jones will start, even because he's been out so long.
I mean, it's a kind of an enforced midfield three, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd go with that. I don't want to... even if Jones was fit, I think he's... I'm not a big fan. I think he's okay. I think, he doesn't justify a start yet anyway. He's a long way to go.
Oh, Paddy.
Let's unpack that statement right there for Mr. Murray. I'm with you with not maybe...
Way!
The camera's
on. Chris. That's how much you've annoyed him. He just ran off. What I will say is I agree, Paddy, that he's probably not ready for a starting berth yet. But I would slightly disagree in that I would highly rate Curtis Jones and his ability, and I think there's a lot more to come from him. I don't think he's there just yet, though. I think that is fair.
Yeah.
It's harsh, isn't it? I love Curtis, especially before his injury. He was
anybody you don't love, mate. By the way, is there anybody out there that Chris isn't, giving it up to?
I don't know. To be fair, I genuinely don't have a negative opinion about anyone in our squad.
That's nice.
But no.
Not like with Paddy, you horrible bastards.
Yeah, I'm an arsehole, yeah.
With Curtis, I just think he's got such a technical quality about him that not many do. He's still got a physical presence. He's a big lad. He can play on the left. He can play in the middle. Look, what a squad option to have. And I think he's got so much more to come. I think what he does need to learn is to release the ball quicker, because sometimes he holds on to it a little bit too long. But to say, well, I don't think he'll be fit enough, but I think he'll be a valuable member of the squad over this tough period.
Right, I want to get straight to it. So Rabadan's put in a super chat, which leads me back down towards the lads again. But I'm going to say what I've always said, and I'll come to Chris for the actual news in a second, or the actual links, because I know there's somebody you want to talk about. But for me, Paddy, I don't see us doing any business in January, mate. I mean, I'd call me a miserable outside, but I just don't see it happening.
No, and nor do I. I just don't think we are. I think there's rumours and rumours and rumours. We can talk about rumours and talk about rumours, but ultimately, I just don't think they're going to go and do anything. They'll say the whole spiel of, no, I'm confident with the team, and we just couldn't find the right person. They're not willing to take risks, it seems, in the transfer window. They just need everything to be perfect, and it's not going to happen. So that's why I don't think we'll sign anyone. But obviously, Chris might have more actual news on that.
Jamrock's brought in a really good point that I will bring up in a minute, mate, because you're not the first person to raise the frequent soft tissue injury thing. So I will get back to that in a second, Jamrock, and thank you. It's a good point to talk about. For you, Chris, look, you sent us into our WhatsApp group today a little link about somebody from Mönchengladbach that maybe Klopp was interested in, and not who people are going to automatically think when we say Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, it's not my house, unfortunately.
Or Zakaria.
Or Zakaria, no, but it is another man who's out of contract. Matthias Ginter has been heavily linked with Inter. It's sort of like a nursery I'm putting in, but apparently Liverpool, I've been told, very interested. I mean, a free transfer. He's very versatile, can play centre back, right back, and central midfield. It'll be viewed as a sort of James Milner signing, almost, that he can come in and be an experienced head. Played under Klopp at Dortmund as well. So who knows? I'd 100% take Ginter. But it's whether he would come in and accept his squad role, because he has developed into a very good centre back at Mönchengladbach. But who knows?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on these type of things, Paddy, because when I see names like Ginter and I see names like Frank Kessie, I ask myself straight away, would we sign them if their contract situations weren't as they were? And the answer is usually no. So then my answer is no. That's kind of where I am with these things.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm starved. Ironically, I'd take anyone. Honestly, just anyone. Just sign anyone, please. Just the more the merrier. Just bring in squad players, anyone, just to fill up the. If you've seen our squad depth chart right now, like our available players is a disgrace. Like we need serious reinforcements in January. I don't like. We need help. And Ginter is a solid player. He's versatile, as Chris said. He's a World Cup winner, I believe. Was he in that squad? Just about, maybe. Anyway, bring him anyway.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I want signings. I do want signings, but I'm getting a pain in me hoop with these bargain basements, scratching around, looking for solutions. Because if we're looking for a midfielder, then we're admitting we need a midfielder. Would that be a fair assumption, gents? If we're looking around for bargain basement midfielders, there's obviously a feeling we need a midfielder. So
yeah,
why not?
But the thing is,
midfielder?
If you bring in Ginter, who is a World Cup winner, by the way, Paddy, just found it out. You then maybe allow the likes of Nico Williams to move on because you can also play at right back. You know, in a midfield,
we haven't actually filled out our squad depth at all. Then we've just brought one in and got rid of one.
And then maybe, you know, with Milner potentially leaving it at the end of the season, he could take his void. I prefer, you know, more bodies to come in, but I can just see it being a very Liverpool signing, especially on a free transfer.
Oh, is it getting embarrassing now, Paddy? Because that's kind of where I feel it is a bit embarrassing that we, as a club that are fighting with unprecedented wealth in Manchester City and Chelsea, and we're trying to do it in a pound shop way. It just can't work out. Like, it just can't work for a long period.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we expect to compete with City because it's just financial. It's impossible. But we're not even competing at our own level. Like, we're not even, like, we have money. We're going around like we have nothing. And it just seems the longer the Henry and FSG stay, the longer, like, they're just looking at the profit margins really rather than like what's actually needed. And they're just hoping Klopp can just be a miracle worker as usual. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we only have 2 major trophies in the club. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to pull the finger out and get winning again. It's really, this season has gone from looking really good to suddenly looking a bit scary, a bit dodgy.
I see. I'm a little bit different to this one because I went into the season, Chris, expecting a Champions League run. I didn't really think we were going to contend to win the league. I hoped for it. I thought if the cards fall our way, if injuries go our way, it's possible because I know what a group we have. But I certainly was putting us, I think my prediction I had us 3rd when the season started. So I was hoping one of the domestic cups, which we're still capable of doing, semi-finals against Arsenal, and then hopefully a run deep in the Champions League, which I still think we'll do. So I don't want to get all doom and gloom and say the season's over at the minute because I don't think it is, but I do think we could have helped ourselves a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, look, it would be, in an ideal world, it would be great to have a couple more players in our squad who are capable of competing with the likes of Manchester City. But you have to put it really into perspective. I mean, if you look at our squad, we can fill out two first team 11s. If everybody's fit, and that's obviously a little bit more difficult. But look, our season is far from over, and we just have to continue playing. And you know what? People have bottled bigger leads than Manchester City have right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but would you put any money on Manchester City? I don't think that's where my answer is usually to this. Would you put money on City not winning it? Because I wouldn't.
Oh no, I wouldn't put money on City not winning it ever, because they have that elite sort of depth that we don't have. But they are, like, you know, they're Manchester City, but better teams have bottled that as well. So, you know, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I want to bring this up, Paddy, because I want to see if you think that this is a kind of the amount we need. Because for me, I would say we get away with 1 forward and a midfielder if we didn't lose anybody.
I would love 2 forwards as well. Someone to come in and play on the right and the left. But we're not gonna like sign starters though. But I'm looking at AFCON people that will start during the AFCON period, but and then be really good bench options and a midfielder. Like, there's no reason why we can't go and do that. They realistically should have this done already, and it's just a matter of announcing it. But I just think it's going to be a whole other month of this shite linked with everyone, and then at the end of it, they're just going to announce a Mo Salah contract extension, which we'll all love. But
yeah, that'd be great. I mean,
it doesn't
we're all on board with
improve.
that.
It doesn't improve our situation. Do you know what I mean? Really.
Here's another super chat. Thank you, Cash. The squad needs freshening up. I can see a very steep decline from next season if quality is not added. We need to be ruthless and replace Bobby and Milner. Now, I deviate a little bit. I think they're being ruthless part I'm on board with. I have to say. But for me, it would be Mane. And I think Milner may move on. But that's not because, the club won't renew. I think it's just time. It's just the right time. And everybody, I think, will understand it. So I think we will free up that midfield place, but I think it's Mane that's more likely at this moment in time to move on.
I want Mane moved on.
There was a rumor came out today actually. I think Tony Cascarino said he wouldn't.
That's not a rumor. That's that lad being an absolute fucking dipstick and just saying, I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling that Bobby Firmino's off the Villa. Really?
Yeah, I know. No, they come out today, and I was like, I can sort of see it, but at the same time, I can't. But no, it would be Mane for me. I think Firmino's more likely to take a squad role. Mane's, I see a lot more sort of hunger for being the main man, shall we say. Maybe not to win trophies, but to be the main man. Bobby Firmino is very, very selfless, I believe. Whereas I would go as far to say that Mane is quite selfish. And that, it comes to his detriment sometimes, but also is to his success as well. And I think he will move on before Firmino does. As with Milner, what's the benefit in moving him on? We're not making any money. He'll probably just go on to become a coach for us, I think. Maybe at the end of this season or the end of next.
For Jimmy Milner, I think it'll just be ultimately down to what Jimmy Milner wants to do. If he wants to carry on playing somewhere, I think the club will do their best to help him in any way they can. Getting back around to the Firmino thing, Paddy, because I seen you laugh as much as I did when I mentioned the Cascarino thing. Yeah. This, by the way, was apparently worthy of a whole article on the Echo that Tony Cascarino on TalkSport said that I just got this good feeling that, Bobby Firmino will go and he'll go to Villa and they'll take one big Liverpool player. No, I'm sorry, mate. Surely that's nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Firmino leaving. It's not out of the realms of possibility. I don't want him to leave, but to Villa, no, it's a bit far fetched. They could afford him theoretically because they have money, but I don't think Liverpool would want to sell Bobby to another Premier League club. They don't want to sell a player with the potential of them doing damage. That doesn't make sense to me. Bobby strikes me as a player that could go off to Spain. Somewhere in Spain, I
see him in an Atletico shirt.
I was going to say Atletico. Yeah, I can see him at Atletico. I feel like I don't know, something.
He's not horrible enough to play for Atletico, though. He's not hard enough. I don't think. But look, I think I would give Bobby Firmino a lifetime contract right now. If I'm being honest with you, I think he could genuinely in the rest of his career mold into an excellent squad player, whether it be in that false nine role or in midfield.
I was just going to ask that point. Do you think that there is the possibility maybe of him playing in the hole behind the front three?
Yeah, 100%. He played there. He played there for Hoffenheim. Why can he play for Liverpool? He's got so much technical skill. He's not reliant on pace. I think as a squad player, and I think he would be a good squad player. He would fit perfectly for the rest of his career. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for keeping Bobby at the club and under any circumstances because I love the man. But I do understand what Paddy's saying, what others are saying. I think we have to break up the front three as much as it hurts. We just have to do it. And I'm, Jamrock again with a comment saying reported both Klopp and Edwards want starters to come in, which is great because that's the news. If that's true, that's the news that we all want to hear. But wanting and getting something is another thing. Rabadon's clearly lost the plot today.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've seen some people in the chat say we should go after a creative midfielder, and I don't like to burden pressure onto any young player, but Harvey Elliott exists, and I think bringing in any midfielder of that ilk would potentially stifle him. And don't forget, Curtis Jones can also play that role as well as Naby. I mean, creativity isn't the problem in our midfield nowadays. It's about the solidity that we lost with Wijnaldum. No. They are bottom tier. Yeah,
well, we're still awaiting that tier list, by the way, Christoph.
I'm sure Dan shared it with you. But
Are you allowed to drink beer on here?
You do whatever you like, sir. You do whatever you like. After me last night, mate, yes, you can have a beer.
Mate, Honestly, but yeah, no, creative midfielders. I think that's a myth. Like, have you seen? We've already got, I think, 6 or 7 more goal contributions from our midfield this season than the entirety of last season, which is a very, very good number. I mean, Henderson's getting goals. Keita's scored goals. Thiago scored goals. I mean, it's not last season we had very, very limited. So I think it's just a bit of a myth.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I mean, I was somebody that was crying out for more goals from midfield because we can't just put the pressure on Mohamed Salah to be banging in goals. So I think it is a fair point. Let's go back to tomorrow's game for a second before we move back. And by the way, we know the league table's incorrect. Blame Connor. He's in France. Even though
blame Connor.
Just blame him anyway, because that's the thing to do. But I mean, I'm really worried about this game tomorrow, Paddy. Now with the the news that Klopp won't be on the sidelines, that we potentially have no Alisson, that we potentially have. I don't think Firmino will be he'll be missed, of course, but we still have the other 3 lads there in attack tomorrow. So with Keita, though, that's a really good option with no Thiago there. To have Thiago and Keita out, that's not great, Paddy. There's no creativity there behind the front.
Yeah, like I don't want to be that guy, but I'm not confident in the slightest for this game tomorrow. In the slightest. I have such bad feelings about it. I already had some, and then just news keeps coming through that just decimates my hopes further and further. And I don't want to say it, but I mean, whoever does lose tomorrow, if there's going to be a loser, they're completely gone from the title race. It's confirmed. That's the final nail in any coffin for Chelsea, Liverpool. So it's a must-win for the title race for Liverpool and Chelsea, in my opinion. So I think there's going to be a winner. I rule out a draw. But I think it's a must-win, and it's going to be high tensions. And I just really hope you come out on the better side of it. But if you put a gun to my head, I prefer not to speak.
Do you want me to make you feel even less optimistic? Paul Kearney's in VAR.
Yeah. But Anthony Taylor is on ref, and he hates Chelsea. So maybe, it's going to be the battle.
He was born in Greater Manchester. So who knows? But now, all I'll say is, if there's any time to play Chelsea with a weakened team, it's now. They've been derailed by the man. I don't know what tactic Romelu Lukaku's trying to do in the media, but I don't know how that's going to be taken by Thomas Tuchel. If he starts, it's a farce. Like I'm genuinely sure he won't play.
Not a chance.
I'll go with Kai Havertz. I'd say.
Yeah, but it's like I'm not confident that we'll get a result because of all of our players missing, but I'm not as scared as I would be because of all this rubbish that Lukaku's coming out with. I mean, it's almost like
he's hiding. The Inter Ultras already unveiled the banner saying, "No, we don't want you back. You took Chelsea's riches. Best of luck."
Exactly, and Inter needed that money, and they went and signed players with it, and Edin Dzeko's doing just as well. So,
did you not hear what they said? Like the Inter CEO was like, we sold Lukaku for like 80 million, got Dzeko for free, but on the pitch there's not much difference. Lol.
I tell you what, though, on Edin Dzeko, I keep writing that lad off, and he keeps finding goals every single season. So fair play to him. I mean, he's really found the league that he's suited to his attributes over there.
He scored really everywhere he's gone.
He was Premier League.
He scored for Wolfsburg, scored for City, didn't he? He scored for Roma and now Inter. Scores for Bosnia. He's a proven goal scorer, to be fair to him. Not really an attractive player, though. Like, you don't look at him and be like, I want you. Even his wife probably doesn't say that. He's an ugly bastard, So.
Basuma and Diaz.
Great maybe not Basuma.
Maybe not Diaz is where I am with that.
I'm saying maybe not Basuma on his
yes, his extracurricular activities.
Ben Mendy as well, is it?
Well, we won't lump him in with that bracket, but
no.
Yeah, that's a whole another ballpark. The darts, by the way, if anybody's wondering, Rids is 4-3 up against Peter Wright in a proper battle of an affair.
Are you the darts man? I love the darts. I can't beat the darts, man.
As a footballer, gents, would you take Basuma? Because I would. I think he's an ideal Genie replacement.
I think he's absolutely. Yeah.
Not for me.
I'm all over.
Not for me. I think we've got enough in midfield, if I'm being honest with you, but Get
out of here, man. What do you mean we have enough? Look at our midfield tomorrow. It's going to be fucking terrible.
But then you're missing Keita, Thiago,
We have a 70-year-old James Milner still in contention to start for Liverpool Football Club in 2021.
Yeah,
2022.
He wouldn't even
man?
be in the
Milner
squad.
should be
Usually, you know
retired.
what I'm saying? I just wouldn't. I don't like Basuma.
Milner should be playing in charity games and in the BT Sport fucking. He should be doing punditry, not starting in a title race game.
See, I love Milner as somebody to come on, help see out games, and the experience in Europe. And I still think Milner can contribute this season, but I wouldn't be lying if I said if I seen him in a starting 11, I wouldn't be a bit nervous.
I think there's far better options than Yves Basuma, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, let's explore some of those options then. There's been nothing on Tielemans, and we know that his contract is running down. Actually, I've seen a really strange one today that apparently Barcelona tried to do a swap for Alvaro Morata and Memphis Depay.
What?
You could actually just to talk on Barcelona. You could probably get Frankie De Jong cheaper than you can get Yves Basuma.
Oh yeah, I'm all over.
Well, but his wages.
But his wages. But he's a far better footballer.
Oh yeah,
Paddy and Fabinho in a double pivot. Matthew knows what he's at.
Oh my god!
Me and Fabinho in a double pivot. Double pivot.
Double pivot.
Craig's drink along was yesterday. Mine's now.
There you go, Paddy. What are you on the Heineken?
Yeah, it's fucking piss. Lukaku speaks his language. Yeah, he can speak French. He can speak English. He can speak Italian. He can speak Kinvasa, I think, which is the language of the Congo. And then I forget the other ones, but he can speak a lot of them. Dutch as well, I think.
He's a clever bloke, but
and he speaks American.
Not that clever after what he came out with during the week, Chris.
So bizarre, man. If I was Tuchel, he'd be gone. I wouldn't play him again. That's muggy.
Yeah,
that's violation.
That's much worse than what Sacco did at Anfield.
Christopher Fraud.
I'm not a fraud, mate.
We didn't even have to start bullying them today, Paddy.
Nah, that's true.
Belgium isn't a language. What are you talking about?
It's Flemish.
No, Flemish. Well, they speak Flemish, they speak French, and they speak German, and obviously the English in some parts. French part of Belgium.
On the midfield situation, I think we're probably all agreed that nothing's happening in January, unless it's the type of signing Chris spoke about, a Ginter or somebody who you could pick up for a few million who you could have got at the end of the season. And even at that, I'd be still surprised. But in the summer, and look, I'm not going to throw Jude Bellingham into this conversation because I still think that'll be a year down the line. But there are some good midfielders that will be available, or certainly clubs that are in financial hardship and we could look to exploit, Chris.
Wow.
I'm all for exploitation.
Look at Leeds United's situation. I mean, whether they get relegated. I mean, I'd argue Calvin Phillips would be a better signing for Liverpool than Yves Basuma.
Yeah, but he cost about 500 million with that bullshit English tax.
Yeah, it's like if teams go down, get relegated, or languishing in the bottom of the Premier League or La Liga or whatever, there's some great players in and around on offer. Could even get Gini Wijnaldum on a cut price deal.
Gini Wijnaldum.
He'd never come back, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many players.
I think he would, man. He definitely would come back, but
Jurgen wouldn't have him. Jurgen wouldn't have him back. Yeah. No way.
I just want to quickly touch on this and say I'm glad that you spoke to somebody, mate. Always the way forward. And look, I mean, it's going to be probably a bit of a long road, and sometimes these things take time. But every journey starts with a little step, my man. And thank you for your kindness. And look, I wish you every success. Look, in midfield, Paddy, for you, who would you like to bring in? I think we're all on board the Frankie De Jong Express, if that was an option.
Yeah, well, Bellingham, obviously. That's down the line. De Jong, I wouldn't say no to. Basuma, for me, is a great one. I think Basuma's quality. Anyone, really. Anyone. Literally, I'm begging. I'm on my knees for anyone. As long as you don't have to see Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain start for Liverpool in this 2022, I'm happy. Overrated fraud. Go back to TikTok, you dancing fraud.
I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's been good this season.
So do I. But of course I do.
Yeah, he's been alright. It's because he's fighting for his life. Okay.
Actually, let's get straight to it. What has been our weakness this season? Because I want to link this back in to Super Chat from Jamrock earlier on, which spoke about muscle injuries. I want to lead it back into that, but I also want to have a chat around what has been our Achilles heel this season because some people believe we've lacked concentration and conceded goals we shouldn't have. I don't think we can say that goal scoring has been an issue because, we put in a fair amount of goals so far this season. We an unbelievable run of scoring 2 or more in games. So what has been the issue this season, or have we not had an issue, Chris? Is it just that City are just ridiculous?
I think the issue is that sometimes, and I think it's changed throughout the season. At the start of the season, I think we looked leaky in midfield. Can we not? No Ox disrespect, please. I'll get enough over here.
Fair point, though. If those are 2 games we've lost and they've started.
I think, yes, fair enough. I think earlier in the season, our midfield looked leaky. Then it all looked settled up when it was Thiago Fabinho, and then it sort of opened up again. And now we're missing chances when we wouldn't have missed so many. Look, I don't think there's a consistent issue, which is, it shows that there isn't really much that you can do. But yeah, there's nothing wrong. We're all right. Man City are brilliant and putting everything out of proportion. Every time we drop points, we fall away in the title race. And, we have to put that in perspective. Like, I think, as I mentioned on a stream a couple of days ago, like, from, I think it was Paul Machin who did the tweet, and it was like, I'd love to win a title where it was 80 points and not every single time that you drop points, you feel like you've lost the league.
So
you know what I mean? They blow things out of proportion. I hate to blow smoke up Pep Guardiola's arse, but he's done an unbelievable job.
What do you reckon of sorry,
with their checkbook?
Yeah, he has done an unbelievable job, and he is an unbelievable coach. There's no denying that. And I'll always say as well that somebody needs to manage these super clubs, if you want to call them that, or super money ran clubs. Somebody has to go in there and manage all these egos and players and bring them in. So yeah, they've been unbelievable. But what Paul Machin said would be nice, Paddy, wouldn't it? I mean, we keep talking about if City weren't around in this era, what Liverpool would have potentially won.
Well, if City weren't around, I made the point the other day on Twitter myself about, oh gosh, City weren't there. But then I think United would have had 2 titles in that time too, theoretically, if it wasn't for City, because it's just, as Paul Machin said, it would be nice just to scuff a title win like United did for so many years. Like United had a couple title wins with terrible points tallies, but you cannot dream of winning the title with 80 points now these days. So it's just unfortunate.
I'd also say
Bottlers for 97, remember? Bottlers.
I'd also say that if Manchester City weren't around, then Liverpool would not be as good.
We probably wouldn't need to be, though. We probably wouldn't need to be as good. I think we'd certainly be better than what else is around. Like, for instance, I'd be far more confident this season in a title race with Chelsea than I am in a title race with Manchester City. And here's a question. Let's settle this bet for base, face, and space. So, best EDM in the Prem. I mean,
are we talking overall or this season?
Overall, truly, I'd say.
Because
I'll tell you what, that is a damn
want some chicken, lad?
I'd say Kante's more of an 8 nowadays, so I wouldn't class him there.
Yeah, I think it's between Rodri and Rice this season, but overall, I throw Fabinho into the conversation.
Yeah. For me, previous seasons, I don't think Rodri's really hit the heights as those other 2, but this year, I think you said this year. That's tough. I go Rodri this year, but overall Fabinho.
Yeah, I'd agree. Rodri
has really stepped it up this year. He looks
Declan
like
Rice as well. I know you boys are Irish and everything, and there might be a little tinge against Declan Rice, but what a player he's become! Like, he is genuinely elevated to almost world class levels.
He's very good.
I'd have him at Liverpool in a heartbeat. I think any team in the world would have him.
But he's very good.
Overrated.
I love this. I love the Paddy won't let it go.
Right.
If he was Irish, he wouldn't be rated. He's overrated as fuck.
I don't think he's overrated. I do, and I'm not that arsed about the international thing because ultimately I'd rather have somebody that wants to play for the Irish Pride than not play for it. But I do think he's been very good this season. But I don't know if I still think Rodri is the answer for me anyway of this season. I think. Yeah, and it's a position that often goes unnoticed. So if you're getting somebody speaking about a Rodri, a Kante, a Fabinho, or Rice, you know that they're absolutely outstanding for them to be mentioned.
100%.
Right, what's this one? Here we go. Another fair question. And any questions you guys want to chat about, lash them in, and we'll try our best to get through them. So, what should be the transfer value? I'll go to Paddy first on this one. Sadio Mane, Paddy. If we were to sell him, let's say in the summer with a year to go, what's his transfer value?
40 million.
I think you're being generous there.
Probably would have gone a
Generous?
little lower.
I think you're being generous. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and he's 29. Will be 30.
Ooh.
I think you're
In
lucky.
today's market, though.
I think you're lucky to get.
Hazard was €100 million, mate, when he went 1 year left.
Yeah, but that was because that's Real Madrid Galacticos. You know, they had their heart set on him. I think we'd be lucky to get 30 million, if I'm being honest with you.
That's crazy.
12 months left on his contract, decline in form. Who's going to pay that? Who's going to pay 40 million for a decline in Mane? I don't know. You know, will they?
You bring the wages into the equation now as well, thinking about that, because he's on a low wage compared to some of the others, Sadio Mane. So then you start weighing up would it be worth letting him run it down and losing him completely on a free the following year if you're only talking maybe 30 million?
Yeah, it's
Jesus, that's sad to think about. Can you imagine he went to a Premier League club? Imagine he went to Man City.
Wouldn't fit in a City, I don't think. I don't think he's a City style of player, but
That'd be so grim.
I'll tell you what, if we were talking, Chris, about 30 to 40 million, that type of price point, I think Barcelona would certainly have an interest.
Again, the way I look at that is, does he fit into a technical Xavi system?
Mate, they're playing Memphis Depay up front.
I think Mane could be horseshoed into any system. I mean, like as much as I give out about his finishing and his lack of assists and goals this year, he still works his arse off, to be fair to him. Like,
see, if I was Newcastle United and I stay in the Premier League this season, they could do far, far worse.
Yeah, but would he have any interest
no,
in
he
that?
wouldn't. I don't think he would.
He'd be the absolute main man at Newcastle.
the main Mane.
Exactly.
Would he, though? Like,
Yeah.
Would he? Because I would argue Saint-Maximin would still be the main man there.
No.
No, Mane.
No way.
Can you imagine Newcastle fans if they got Mane?
I would say Saint-Maximin's a better footballer right now than Sadio Mane. Right now, with the form that they're both in. I'm not saying throughout his career. I'm saying we're getting rid of him. We're talking about getting rid of him for a reason.
Oh, Craig. I wouldn't go that far, mate.
I think St. Max is he's a great player, but he's very inconsistent also. And his end product is very questionable.
His end product this year, he's still got less goals than Mane this season.
Yeah, I'm still taking Mane right now, I think, in a head-to-head. And that's me who's been talking shit about Mane all year. But if, actually saying that though, if I was asked, would I sell Mane, or would you sell Mane or sign St. Max? I'd sign St. Max.
If he was the replacement, I wouldn't be angry. But that's because I think his ceiling is higher than Mane is currently.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't think he's better right now. I think that would be harsh. I think this season he's still shown some remarkable form, especially at the start. But then he's just tailed off.
How do you say he's not better right now, and in the same sentence say that you would buy him if you sold Mane?
Because the ceiling's higher than what Mane is right now. In my
about right now, I'm saying that he's a better player than Mane now. In my opinion, in my view,
I wouldn't say. I'd say Saint-Maximin's here, Mane's here, but Saint-Maximin could achieve that, whereas Mane is going down there. So look, I'd still swap them, but I still think Saint-Maximin. I still think Mane, is currently a better player than him.
Yeah, it's so frustrating with Mane because he has so many attributes that just boggle me at times about how good he is from a standing start, and I can't for the life of me get past that miss against Leicester. That sums up his entire season for me this season.
That is such a moment. Miss. He had the whole goal to aim at, really, and I don't know how he managed to put it over. That was really bad. But then again,
that makes me sorry, Paddy. The thing that makes me less concerned about Mane is the fact that he is getting chances. When a player is completely off form is when they don't have chances. They're not making the runs. Yes, the finishing is right off, and that is a big concern. But he is still making the runs and getting the chances, and that's saying to me, well, he is going to improve. Like, he is underperforming his XG. He will improve. He will get up there. So look, he's not finished yet, but doesn't mean I wouldn't sell him.
I mean, again, we haven't even broached this part of the conversation. Do we believe that there's any unhealthy competition between Mane and Salah? Let's put it that way.
I think we've always talked that down. I think there is a bit between them still. There's a bit of, as Chris was touching on earlier, there is a bit of a greediness and selfishness towards Mane, and I think they've had a natural clash in the past. So I think it'd be foolish to suggest otherwise. But it's natural. It's just competition. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think there is a little bit there.
I keep looking about for relationships on the pitch as well, and these little clicks. And I just think that left side as well. I don't think we ever really got to see what we could have seen with Mane and Keita. It's such a shame because I feel if Keita had stayed fit, we would have had one hell of a great relationship between themselves and Robbo down that left side, much like we do at times on the right hand side with Henderson, with Trent, and with Salah, or with Harvey Elliott, who look really promising. So yeah, often at times we have to think about these little. It's gone to 2-2. Sorry, 4-4 the darts, 2-2.
4-4-2-2. Me and Craig both scanning to our screen here with the darts.
He was 2-0 down, right? Had broke him, and then he's have to break him back. Oh, fair play! What a game that is.
Isn't he only like? Isn't Callum Ridge only like 23? But he's only about he looks about 50.
Yeah. His hair, it baffles me, man.
It's proper weird. Isn't it?
Doing well in the darts as well, wouldn't it?
Single 5, man. That's a bad visit. That's fucked him there already.
Yeah, I love it.
43 scored. No way.
So, Chris, getting back to transfers, anything that we need to turn our attention to with regards to what you guys at LFC transfer room have been hearing? Any little tidbits, or maybe Nat Phillips as an example, who's out injured at the minute, but we know is likely to move on.
Yeah, well, there's a new Nat Phillips came out. New Nat Phillips link came out today, I believe. Napoli are interested in him after seeing his excellent performance.
Excuse me,
Milan.
Napoli.
What?
Napoli. Geheim.
Get in there to play Koulibaly, who's probably linked with 100 million move somewhere, like he is every year, never goes anywhere.
Yeah, but I genuinely think he'd do excellently in Serie A. I think he'd be perfect, but it's just about the language issue. I don't know whether that would be a problem. But Nat Phillips, Napoli, as Paddy said. Is it the hashtag?
I think he'd do good in Italy as well. The language would be a bit of a problem, but I think he'd be all right over there.
I could just see him at West Ham. I just can see him in that jersey. I just can picture him in it. And again, good win for West Ham today, although Palace fought right back at the end. And my God, by the way, that was a back pass. Let me just put that out there at the end of the game. It was 100% a back pass. And referees never give them, unless it's Simon Mignolet. Remember that in I think it was against Basel, if my memory's right.
Do you remember when Mignolet walked around his box for longer than 22 seconds or something? And they got given an indirect free kick in the Europa League.
Are people still shouting on about the league table? We covered this 20 times. Just ignore the league table. It is absolutely wrong, but it's just
I reckon take it down at this stage.
just
I've got no overlay. I need to keep
Connor, what have you done, Connor? You fucked us.
Connor, you can't leave Craig like this, man.
Yeah, you can't leave me having to do that. I'll tell you how bad it was. I scheduled a watch along the other day and all. I forgot that I had no scoreboard or anything. Like that's how bad it was. So this is
you guys saying change it. You have to go and design an overlay in Photoshop to change it. Like what? No,
it's not just a matter of me clicking a couple of numbers here and then changing. Like this isn't. Yeah, no. It's an overlay.
It's the work that goes on behind.
They believe it up. I mean, the fact that it's annoying people now is I'm shithousing my way to do it. So why not? Oh, big darts here, hang on.
Oh, good darts.
Hello and welcome to Darts Agenda. We're doing a watch along.
It's right at the tail end of it. So people are saying that with Tuanzebe that deal is dead for Phillips. So
still, it came out the other day. Like it was, but maybe they're looking to sign a couple of centre backs.
Where'd Tuanzebe go?
Napoli. It's so easy. I don't know.
Man, he is a great agent, man. Fucking hell. Bayern Leverkusen, fucking Villa, United, now Napoli. What the fuck? He's not even that good. He's all right. Like Jesus.
Lazy. That's one thing I don't think I've ever been called in relation to content, by the way. I mean, in life, yes. But regards to do content, I'm not lazy. I work my ass off. It's just not my
you need all the assets,
fuck
bro.
You, Cam. How about you, bitch?
It's just not my department, mate. So, yeah. Anyway, we move. To get back to the transfer window, Chris. So, Nat Phillips potentially moving on. Anybody of the youngsters that you've seen? Any links to any of the lads maybe going on loan or anything like that?
Leave them young looks good.
One youngster that we are linked to is Fabio Carvalho. Fabrizio Romano linked us to for Portuguese lad from Fulham. Yeah, he scored against West Brom in the Premier League last year, I believe. But then he's also done really well in the Championship. So yeah, he'd be we do have our wonder kids from Fulham, don't we? So it wouldn't surprise me.
This is true. Not lazy, just incompetent. It's true.
I knew you'd bite on that one. I seen as
it's true though. It is, yeah. I am incompetent when it comes to that side of it, and I'm also too stubborn to ask Chris or anybody for help because
I would do it, but I ain't got the assets. So
I'm the last. Yeah, I had to get Connor to help me with my stuff as well.
Hashtag blame Connor.
We've discussed this loads of times, mate. Not going back over it. He's just got to concentrate on content on his own channel, and we all wish him all the best. Right. Let's move on to potential incomings, Paddy. I mean, if we were to bring in somebody in the January window, I mean, it's going to have to be a bit of a bargain basement deal by the looks of it. Because I don't accept the AFCON as an excuse, because we know the AFCON was coming at the start of the season, and we know that we're going to have to be lucky with injuries. But I suppose what's frustrating me a little bit is he's won it, Wright's won it. Is the situation with... Sorry, I'm a bit distracted by Wright here.
I feel bad for
Origi, because we heard it was a little muscle strain or something like that, or a little injury, and here we are a few weeks later and he's still not back.
Is that me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, the darts just put me off.
I'm distracted as well, mate. Yeah.
In terms of the signings and stuff, I've written off a long time ago, but I just don't look at transfer windows. If it happens, it happens. I've stopped out for it. But yeah, the Origi one's a strange one, and it's ironic because the one time of the year where we actually need the guy is coming up now, and he's not fit. So it's just our fucking luck. Our forward line when AFCON comes is truly baffling. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be really interesting. It's just I'm just glad everyone's going to be okay. Hopefully for the Inter Milan games, that's the main thing, Well,
there's talk actually that the away leg of that could be moved to a neutral ground, obviously with the COVID situation. So that will be something we have to keep an eye on. The away leg, obviously, not
in Milan. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So rather than beating them at the San Siro, or Giuseppe Meazza will have to beat them elsewhere for that leg.
That's no problem. That'll do.
Exactly, yeah. That's kind of what I read. I was like, it doesn't matter. We'll beat them.
By the way, just got a mixed comment. Peter Wright beat the bloke with the ridiculous hair. That's a bit of an oxymoron, because Peter Wright has ridiculous hair himself.
Yeah, there's the ridiculous hair. Yeah, exactly.
This is a conversation that I'm just going to stay the hell out of, gents, with regards to hairs. I'm not casting or throwing shade on anybody's hair. Yeah, look, we're in a situation, Chris, where the lads are heading for the AFCON after tomorrow, and Takumi Minamino is training but not fully fit yet, and Divock Origi is not fit yet, and they're supposed to be our fallbacks. Help.
Nico Bale? Anyone?
You've already flogged him off 20 minutes ago.
Never say that again. Never.
You'd already gotten rid of him.
Yeah, no. It's quite concerning, isn't it? I'm not going to lie. We might end up in a world where Ox has to play in the front three.
No, we better. No, shut the front door right now. That better
Who
not
else
happen.
What else are we going to do?
I'd rather Oxlade-Chamberlain in the front three. Did he just say that?
You have an illness. You have a
No. I said we might end up in a world where Oxlade-Chamberlain is
No. No matter what happens, that'll never happen. He was so shit when he played a game there.
He was, and I agree.
I agree. This Ox propaganda. You are on his payroll. You're on his payroll.
I'm agreeing with you. Right, listen. Okay. Who else is there going to be?
I'm getting slandered with my mic. Yeah, listen. I'm saving up my Anfield Agenda money to get a mic, okay? For getting there. All right, lads?
All them €2 add up, Paddy.
What?
All them €2 add up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course.
Bobby's got COVID.
I'm going to have a mic soon. Leave me alone.
Bobby's got COVID. Salah and Mane going to AFCON. You got Jota then. Minamino, who's not quite fit. Origi's not fit. Who plays with Jota?
Firmino.
He's got COVID.
Yeah, but he'll be all right in the future.
Yeah, he'll be back soon, to be fair. He's only going to be out for 7 days, probably.
But then who else?
Cade Gordon.
Well, that's
17,
I mean, I was looking at that.
17 years old.
Oh, we'll have Elliot back as well, probably by the end of the month. End of the month, start of February. He'll start making his return outside.
So fucked, man. We're so
look, I get where you're coming from, Chris. I mean, we've seen Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain deployed as a false nine. I just want to bring this up because it's a super chat from Pulisic's personal doctor. Would you rather see Salah play out his prime at Liverpool and become more of a legend at the club, or sell him in the summer to fund a Chiesa-type transfer?
Yeah. Salah play out his prime. Yeah. We don't need to. Yeah. Although he has been stinky the last few games, but he's allowed a few stinky games. But no, Salah, I want him to retire at Liverpool for sure and break
Yeah.
every record possible.
I agree. I want
We're living
Salah
through a
to stay on.
Liverpool great, like in 100 years' time, when they have new players and new records, and we're all dead and gone, as grim as that is, Salah's records will still stand. Jeez, that's grim.
When Craig's great grandchildren are running.
No, Craig is immortal. Actually, Craig will be here forever. Craig's immortal.
I'm definitely immortal.
The cholesterol will catch up to me.
Believe it or not, my cholesterol is actually sound. When I got this checked recently enough, I was like, hang on, that has to be somebody else's. Like, yeah, but no,
I think people. I think it's a lot to do with age as well, because you're young in the relative terms. You know, I think it's really when you get older. So you're all right for.
I'm young again, Paddy, because it sounded good. Go on.
That was fruity. You're young, you're a young man in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? So
even my son says that I'm 39.1 when anybody asks what age I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Ain't I for it yet? No.
Oh yeah, I am, but I'm 39.1, Paddy. I'm never acknowledging 40.
Fair.
Yeah, have you guys see this one? Where
yeah.
Oh, mate, it's so funny.
And it was Big Hoss said, wasn't it, that he's like the LeBron James of soccer. Your man's like, yeah.
Player in Chelsea.
More than anything else was how well the framed jersey was. It was looked really well in that set. But LeBron James. I mean, I'm a Pulisic fan, but they call him the LeBron James of soccer. Has you not heard of fucking Messi or Ronaldo? No.
I actually really like Pulisic. I'd love us to sign him. I think he'd be unreal under Klopp. It was Klopp that unearthed him with Dortmund, I believe, as well, wasn't he? So I would love a bit of Christian.
I wanted us to sign him as well, and I couldn't understand, Paddy, why American owners wouldn't have looked at that situation. But I'm hoping, Chris, that maybe we revisit Gio Reyna someday.
Maybe it'd be nice if we did, but yeah, that Pulisic thing absolutely got me in stitches, man. It's not bad because I know a couple of Americans who know loads about football, and they gives them a bad name. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these, but Gio Reyna maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
So Matip, some people, and I've seen a few people mention this, that they believe Matip is one of the potential COVID casualties that we have. And look, how do I say this without sounding bad? Obviously, I hope he doesn't, and I hope he's well. But at least we know we have Canade there as an option if we need to. And somebody asked me this actually, Chris, and we still haven't spoken about the soft muscle injuries that Jamrock brought up. So we'll go back to that one. But somebody said this to me the other day about Matip. What was the situation? No, I'm going to have to forget that and go back to the other one. The soft tissues, because I can't remember where I was going with the Matip thing. Canada. Oh, playing 3 at the back. That's what it was.
Ugh.
Anything to be said for it?
Ugh. No way. Never.
Okay, let me run this up the flagpole then and see if anyone salutes. So right now, we've got minimal forwards for the foreseeable while the lads are away. So we could play a system that would see our midfielders be able to push up a bit and get the likes of Robbo and Trent even further involved in an attacking sense, or Nico Williams perhaps even at one point. So I think, whilst not dismissing it at a hand, that there could be an option to do it, even for a short period of time, just to shake it up a bit.
Nah, I don't. Look, logically, it makes sense, but Jurgen Klopp is too stubborn, and to be honest, I don't think our system would suit 3 at the back. If I'm being honest, we need to have the pressing from the front. With playing 3 at the back, you're losing a man from the front, so it means that the team can get out easier. It's not for me at all.
Do we think that I don't want to say our system's been found out, Paddy, but it does seem like these long diagonal balls into the positions that the fullbacks have left vacant is more and more of a thing now to try and bypass our press, and teams are setting up. And also, I'll add to that by saying something that you touched on a minute ago, is the last couple of games, we just haven't been able to get Mo as involved in them as we would have wanted.
Yeah, for sure. Well, on the Mo thing, yeah, it's there's only so much Mo can do, like when he's not getting the service, but he's been really anonymous in games, especially the Leicester game, probably one of his worst games of the season. But I mean, Mohamed Salah could go for the whole season again without scoring, and we'd still owe him. You know what I mean? He's still done unreal. But it's sometimes when he's not at the races, it's hard to watch as a team. Like, we just can't break down these certain players and stuff. But let's just hope that spell can be broken against Chelsea. He does love a goal against Chelsea. I'm pretty sure he scored at least 2 or 3. So, go again, please.
Also, interesting stat about Mo Salah: scored as many open play goals at Old Trafford as Cristiano Ronaldo this season.
We love
Wow, that is hilarious.
Yeah, we love that. Well played, Chris. Well played. And it wasn't a little tap in like Ronaldo's the other day as well. You know, Scott McTominay. What was McTominay drinking that day? He was banging in shots from everywhere. That was nuts.
I cannot believe Ronaldo done the show after that goal against Burnley. Are you?
He's shameless, isn't he? He did it against Norwich as well. He has no shame.
It's unreal. He made done a post. Messi done a post about 2021. It was like real humble and all. Ronaldo done a post. It's like, although I scored 47 goals, blah blah blah. It's like, Joe, you are so up your own arse, mate. Jesus Christ, have a day off, will you? And no means
right,
no.
Let's finish up by going all the way back to the start of the stream when Jamrock brought up the soft tissue injuries and the muscle strains. And look, it's going to be very difficult for us to talk about this with any level of certainty because none of us are medical experts. But we do seem to pick up quite a few of them, Chris, throughout the course of a season. Is it the players? Is it the workload? Is it the methods that Klopp asks them to go out there and put into practice? What would be your gut on it?
I'd say it's a mixture of all three to put the honest answer in. You've got, a high intensity style. We've got a lot of fixtures and a manager and coaching staff who asks you to play a very like the trainers as you play. It's probably a mixture of all three. Would there be as many soft tissue injuries if we didn't play as many games? That's another question.
Well, let's look at it, though, in all honesty. I mean, soft tissue injuries, I'm thinking immediately here the likes of Naby Keita, Thiago. And these aren't people who have played a lot of games.
No. Well, the thing is, we knew when we signed Thiago for sure that he wouldn't be playing as many, but he was worth that luxury. Keita, maybe not. I don't think he's adapted to English football in the way that the Klopp and the scouting staff expected. He's turned into an injury-prone player, and maybe the style sort of exposes that, and maybe it does need to be changed a little bit for their welfare. But I wouldn't say so.
What about you, Paddy? What do you think, or is this not an issue? Is it just a false issue?
Well, it's definitely a soft tissue, but no, I think it's down to the play style and the regime Klopp has put in place. It's known to be a strenuous regime. It's gegenpressing. It's high. It's it's just high intensity. So it's unfortunately kind of inevitable, but it doesn't have to be signed injury.
Trump and twat. If you're going to use Trump in a fucking profile picture, then I'm using alternative fact, dickhead, and that table's my alternative fact now. Adios.
Sure, but yeah, no, I think it's just go on.
Paul's comment has just finished. Really,
where's Paul's comment? Let's find Paul's comment. Where is it? I mean, because you can pull that up, can't you? That's your end.
I can't. I'm not logged in, but he says if Paddy did the Peter Wright hairstyle, Astrid Wet would definitely fall in love with him. Isn't she?
Her name was actually Astrid Dry until she met me.
I'm not getting involved in this.
Astrid, if you see this,
I'm not.
Hop in them DMs again, Astrid. Come on. I funded your fucking new Tesla. You might as well.
There's a Tesla?
Yeah, she bought herself a new Tesla, yeah.
How?
She make them bank. She sells a punani online.
Oh, maybe I should start selling mine.
She's a lovely person, though. Really is a nice person. She deserves
All
it.
I know is, the only thing I know about her is she's a few points ahead of me in our FPL contributors league. That's all I know about her.
Well,
literally,
she certainly always has 2 points on display online. I tell you that. She puts up a nude on Twitter every time Chelsea win. So she hasn't put many out the last few weeks.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way forward for me then.
Craig dick pic every time Liverpool win. After the agendas would go through the roof.
Mate, Manscaped to be loving it. Show off their product.
Oh, stop.
Look how toes and balls look,
Craig using his willy as a flagpole for a Liverpool flag. Fucking squaring it around.
It'd be one of those handheld flags, Paddy. That'd be more right, to be honest with you. Look, lads, I'm going to wind this one up, but I want to get a prediction off both of you, and you'll both be on the post-match show tomorrow, just in case I get my days mixed up again, Chris, because I'm awful. It's what happens when Connor leaves me alone. sending people money for shows they're not even scheduled to do. And then days people are scheduled to do shows, I'm not even reminding them about it. So yeah, this is what happens when I'm left in charge. And people wonder why I keep saying that Connor's the brains of the channel and that he should get the credit that, you know, he doesn't get. So yeah, that's why, because I'm an idiot, as I keep saying. But I'm a charming idiot. Let's go with that one. So prediction, Paddy, tomorrow, Chelsea, what are we doing?
2-2 draw.
The one thing nobody wants, and I say that from both fan bases' point of view.
2-2 draw.
Chris?
I can't go into a game and say we're not going to win. So I'm going to say we'll win 3-2. We'll nick it.
I went 2-1. Yeah, I don't think either team will blow the other one away, no matter what happens.
Lukaku own goal, anyone?
Yeah, a hat-trick of own goals for Lukaku would make sense.
What Paddy's dreading most is we win 1-0. It's an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain screamer. He's not coming on.
Oh!
If we win 1-0 to an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain screamer, I'll buy that away kit with his name on the back.
One last question, and this is to the chat as well, by the way. One last question. Did anybody else heart sink when City scored that late goal earlier on? Like, just absolutely go bollocks. If there was a chance, today could have been a big one. And fair play to Arsenal for putting up such a good fight, but I don't know. I would have loved to go into tomorrow knowing they dropped some points. Arsenal
should have won that game, and they shot themselves in the foot. Unfortunately, it was never a penalty, by the way. No. Looking back on it, but Arsenal shot themselves in the foot. I sort of assumed after
they should have had a penalty as well.
After they went down to 10 men, I was like, this game's done. And the fact that it happened in the 93rd minute, it could have happened in the 73rd. Ugh.
Yeah. They're City are fucking relentless, man.
I'm desensitized to Man City winning now.
Yeah, literally.
And one last question. How are we feeling about the fourth place race at the minute? Because it is starting to heat up. Arsenal, United, West Ham, Spurs, all kind of...
Here, we could easily be pulled back into that if we're not careful, by the way.
Oh, no.
I don't think we will. I think our fixtures are starting to... They're not so bad after this Chelsea game.
By the way, yes, I was just looking at City's 11 wins in a row. They've actually had shit teams to play, so maybe they've just had a lucky run of fixtures. Maybe the losses are coming for them. Please.
Tottenham are getting fourth.
I think Tottenham. I've said Tottenham fourth since Conte came in. He's that good. He'll get them fourth. I think it's going to be City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham, with Man United coming in sixth.
We all agree that we'd like it to be West Ham, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I think Arsenal will get fifth. Do you know what?
I wouldn't mind Arsenal.
Harder, Chris. That would make Bowen harder to potentially remove from West Ham.
I know. I don't think he'll go, to be fair. He's probably been one of their best players this year. So, but I wouldn't mind Arsenal because of all the young players that Arteta's brought through. But I honestly think it will be Spurs.
I'm intrigued to see what happens if United don't get fourth. I really am. I'm looking forward to that meltdown.
They'll get another shit manager and then convince themselves they're going to win the league again, as they always do.
Good old Wreck-It Ralph.
Mank twats.
There you go. Look, we will be back tomorrow. Watch along on YouTube as normal, starting from about 3:45 tomorrow. Match kicks off at 4:30. A must win for both teams. Is that that's there, Paddy? Or you're putting it about there?
Which?
Who are you blowing kisses to?
Chris's mom.
She's not here, bro.
She's in me DMs. Hey, baby.
Anyway, what is a Space Raider head? Because I'm not a Space Raider.
Space Raider is like an alien head, crisp.
I do have a massive head, to be fair. I've got a 65 centimeter.
You're not helping it with that ridiculous fucking haircut, mate.
What do you mean?
I mean, Craig, that's friendly fire right there.
When did you stick your finger in a socket? I mean, I don't.
Mate, it makes my head look bigger.
Her name is Izzy, not Socket.
I know. Fuck.
Oh, God. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I'm going to go get stuck into some pizza. That's what I'm going to do now and die on the sofa with a hangover. But look, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the match. Thank you to Manscaped. Don't forget WFM20 for 20% off and free shipping. If you're going to watch the rest of the dart tonight, enjoy it. It's just about the last quarterfinal is just about to get underway. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to Paddy. Thank you to you guys for watching. Happy New Year to you all. And and lots of
Have
love.
a good
Bye.
one. Take